Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I think time is 1:30, so we shall start the proceeding or this afternoon session has been put on record, so maybe others can access this later because some other classes, they have scheduled class or classes this afternoon. So we shall allow them to leave the moment they are practically done, no, with matters to be discussed, no, which are important to practically to those enrolled under master thesis, project, seminar course. Other students are still not in this particular subject, but we wish to encourage them to join us this afternoon. So I think the all students of MM Collab group have been invited to this session. Now, okay, I'm sharing now my slides. So let me go into my presentation. Okay, this is actually coming from the president himself. So we have Dr. Junipen Guanan, the president of Philippine Christian University, under his memorandum number written around February 27, 2000. No, this is actually 2018. Memorandum from the president, 2016 Series 09-2201. So this is what we will be discussing because this is practically policies, standards, and guidelines for those students that will be taking up their thesis dissertation course. So if we look at our curriculum for master's and PhD programs, you have there 6 units for MA or master's program, for your thesis or project seminar courses, and 12 units for those under the PhD program for dissertation. Now, if we have to recall our orientation for MM Collab, we mentioned that we hopefully would like to have students that before they proceed with their proposal, defending their title for thesis, project,
punta ko sa collab. Andun siya, pipindutin mo lang.
Okay, again, no, for each one of us, no, enrolled in a particular program, academic program, both for masters and PhD, we have in our course curriculum or our program curriculum that we have to undergo a thesis, project, or dissertation. For masters, it would be 6 units, no? So that would be for the second try and third try. And then after which you will take up your comprehensive exam, and then after the comprehensive exam, then you will have to defend or present your thesis or your project. For PhD, you will have that in your third try after your comprehensive exam. you will have the 12 units for your dissertation. And after which, finishing all the proposal, defense, then you will have to present your paper. So that's part, or that's under our curriculum, or our respective curriculum for the program that we have enrolled. Now, for this afternoon session, since those enrolled under the program or thesis project seminar course, those only for masters. No? So our PhD students will have this the next semester. But as well, we invite all of us, no? Because I think I have mentioned that in our group chat that lahat naman tayo papunta dun sa ating thesis, project, or dissertation. So this is an initiative for the MM Collab group, exclusive, no? As part of the group, so we initiate that we can help you, guide you, because our goal is for us that all of us simultaneously will have to be out of this group chats, this uh, MM Collab group, no, all together. Hopefully by November or December, lahat tayo mawawala na dito sa ating MM Collab group. Ibig lang sabihin nun, graduate na tayo lahat. And we welcome the next batch of students to finish their program. No? So those who have started with the MM Collab group under PCU programs last semester, so this is your second try. So we will have our third try, and then our comprehensive exam, and then our thesis dissertation defense. So after which we are marching towards PICC all together. So yun ang wish ng MM Collab group. Okay, so literally mawawala tayo sa mga group chats. Ibig sabihin tapos na tayo sa program. And those under masters, we welcome you hopefully in the near future to your PhDs under the MM Collab, of course with the PCU graduate school program. So yung presentation ngayon is all about, again, let me reiterate, this is all about the memorandum of the president on policies, standards, and guidelines, no, for masters who are enrolled under thesis project course. No? So this is our preparation. Now, let me preempt your questions later, no, towards this kind of scenario that we are facing right now. No? So there are some questions whether we still go back to the face-to-face classroom instruction and so forth and so on. So all in all, we are in the blended or flexible learning. No? So let me give you this personal reflection. No? So I think with these disruptions, global in terms of scope, no. So I think this is rapid. No? So it came unexpectedly. So let me also have this in terms of the word rapid test. No? Now, in terms of remote teaching and learning, which we are now undergoing, no, in terms of our platform, modalities. So are we ready? What are our approaches? What process do we adopt? How are these implemented, and how are these continuously developed? No? So this is all about testing, efficacy, efficiency of instruction, and of course the marriage of technology in this remote teaching and learning experience that we have. Now, in terms of readiness, I think we need to go back, no? Readiness and approaches. So what are the preparations? So what do we have with the PCU and MM Collab as a site coordinator group, no? Having this program remotely. No? So are we prepared? So we would like to look into our assessing accessibility, adaptability, and sustainability, no, of this kind of modality, which is on remote teaching and learning. So what are the preparations? I think more than enough, which I have mentioned in our orientation for those who have started last semester, that we mentioned that one of the things that I am really excited about PCU because it has created its own structure, which is headed by the president, and down to the Transnational Education Extension Program, which is headed by Dr. Margie de la Cruz. So this kind of structure really has invited me to join with them and look for students that can uh, be accommodated, no, on those programs that they offered through this kind of platform. No? I also mentioned that personally, I am part already of a distance education. So this is not new to me. And that is why I also have requested my colleagues, no, those professors teaching now in different courses, to join with me in this because this is the new normal, no, which I think some may not be ready about, or some may not be more interested to go into. But I think I have gathered, uh, I would say, more than or equally in terms of passion to teach, no, under this kind of platform, which is remote. Other professors have said no because they are more on the platform, which is classroom. So readiness and approaches, yes, I think PCU has prepared on that. No? So we have this platform. I have visited other universities also doing this kind of extension program, but I think PCU is more of a leverage, no? Because they have really prepared themselves in terms of offices, departments, and people who can, or we can talk with and communicate with, no, more, I would say, promptly in terms of response, and more organized in terms of tasks and works, no? The description and the distribution of their tasks. No? And the president is readily available anytime. Actually, he received our invitation this afternoon. Of course, the president will join us in the webinar session, which will be on the next Sunday. So he will talk about the PCU research pathways. No? And to begin with, ito yung ginagawa natin ngayon, no? Yung memo niya at saka yung kanyang statement ng policy standards and guidelines towards this thesis and dissertation course. So I think readiness and approaches we have. No? So the PCU also prepared in terms of process. So we adopt the synchronous and asynchronous, though we are not really on the blue book, which is the platform of learning management system of PCU, no? But with our at pcu.edu.ph, no, each one of us has given an email ad, no, dedicated, no, to that platform that we prescribed, no, which is the Google Classroom and the Google Meet, no, still under the domain of at pcu.edu.ph. So we don't have problems on that. Now, in the implementation, we were given the leeway to design as a site coordinator, which is under the MM Collab group. So we were given the leeway to design our own. How do we go about teaching, learning, no, in terms of our students enrolled in our group? So I was able to invite professors to join with me. And I think with students that are enrolling right now, I would say I think we are number 2 in terms of group number. No? I think the highest is the one in the North Luzon. No? The next to that is the MM Collab group. So processes and implementation, we are flexible. I think most of you are able to communicate with me, and I was able to relay all those communications and concerns to the different offices of the university. Now, the question on whether this is a long-term strategy, I think in the discourses and debates along administrators and even the Commission on Higher Education, this is not a short deal. No? So I think this will come along in terms of how graduates program should be conducted, no? So parang sinabi nga ni Popoy de Vera na talagang nagkakatotoo, no, na ang graduate school program ay hindi lang confined sa classroom, no? So our students may have all this opportunity to be exposed, no, in immersion and in the actual grounds, no, where they can apply knowledge, no, and how this knowledge can be converted into practical use, no, which will benefit the society and the larger community. So in terms of rapid, I think we are, no? So okay. So next is the content of the memorandum. So this is, of course, in compliance, no, with the autonomy granted by the CHED to PCU, which centers on research and community. So this is what PCU would like to improve more, no? And our enrollment, our participation would be highlighted, no, in terms of how they can create about an environment that is really for excellence, no? So centers of excellence and development in respect to the discipline or programs that they have been offering. So it is mentioned here that the research as not only a terminal requirement for the program, okay, but it is also necessary to assure, no, that there is guidelines and conduct of the graduate thesis dissertation, which is required for the granting of the students' academic degrees. Okay, so since our discussion this afternoon is only confined to the master's thesis and program project course, no? So I have to uh, say indulgence, no, to the PhD students present this afternoon, because this is only confined. But though the memorandum, which I think you have read also, it is posted in our Google Classroom. So it is both for thesis and dissertation. But I would like to zero in, no, the presentation this afternoon for those students enrolled now under the thesis project seminar course, no? So a masteral thesis is required for completion of a masteral degree, but before the graduate student enrolls, so this is the prerequisite, no? So we should be able to pass all our academic requirements and, of course, also pass the comprehensive examinations. So every faculty teaching in the courses under your curriculum, we already have prepared question bank or data bank, no, on questions for your comprehensive exam. So hopefully by next semester we can have a session on coaching and for Collab group of students, no. So we will do a little stretching on coaching before your comprehensive exam. Kasi kung wala naman, hindi tayo papasa sa comprehensive, hindi tayo makapag-thesis. So I think we go back to our goal na sabay-sabay tayong pupunta sa PICC or kung sa PICC man ang graduation, no? So no one should be left behind. So papasa muna tayo sa ating mga academic courses and then comprehensive exam, and then that's the time that we are scheduled to defend or present our output to get our master's degree. Okay. Now for the thesis advisor, of course, you will have your own, no, selection of thesis advisors practically by the opening of the third try, no, which is on June. So May 15 is our last day for the second try, and then 15 to 30 May will be the enrollment, release of grades, and June 1 will be the opening of the trisem, try the third, no? The third. So that will be on June. So with that, you have to look for an advisor, or the Collab later on will have to uh, give you list of pool of advisors, possible advisors, which you can contact and talk with, no, to help with your thesis or project. So the advisor together with the students, of course, will have to look into whether they follow the correct format, no? And then, of course, the content of the paper to be presented. No? So there is a 1 month before the schedule of the proposal, no, for the defense. So I think this is on the title defense, or what we call the methodology, no? So the research methodology, so which we will be talking about later, no? Yung parts of the one that we have to present. Now, again, our discussion this afternoon works both ways, no? So the short term, what is the short term? The short term is that what would be my submission on May 15 as enrolled in this course. So you are enrolled under Master Thesis Project Seminar course, which is 3 units. That is for April and May. So we have a requirement to submit for May 15. No? This is your fourth subject enrolled. Now, the second one is that what would be my presentation so I can schedule for a proposal defense. No? So what you will submit by May 15, of course, the professors under that subject will have to create or make some evaluation suggestions so that you can better off your paper. By the next semester, you can be scheduled for a defense. So yun ang ating ginagawa ngayon. No? So meron tayong requirements sa subject, and hopefully this paper that we will submit, no, when this becomes more compliant, no, to the format of PCU, then hopefully by next semester at the end we can schedule for a proposal defense. Okay. Now this is on the thesis project proposal format. No, the memo says that it has, well, there is a working months of 12 to 24 months, okay, following the submission. So I think in our orientation for Collab, no, I always mention this, no, that by your subject on thesis or research and statistics, no, that's the beginning of what you want for your thesis or project, no, to complete with, no. So with the starting point, no, which is last semester, and then hopefully you are now able to bring about a more specific problems or research areas that you would like to venture into, no, as part of your terminal paper for your program. Okay, so with respect to the proposal format, so dapat meron po tayong introduction. No? So this is now the first phase, no, which is on the introduction. So introduction provide and based on the following, no, so scientific, technological, social, economic, no, subject, topic, idea, system, policy, trend, theory, practice that the research desires to investigate. So that's your intro. No? Okay, you look into the environment or industry or sector which encompasses or influences or it is impacted by the research topic. So this is both on the relevance and the background of your study. No? So this, I'm only taking some statements coming from the memorandum, no, for us to be clarified on the format. No? So this is the first. Okay, I will cut short. I would like to acknowledge that we have President Junifen this afternoon joining us. Good afternoon, President.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everybody.
President. Yeah, thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think by your presence, we can be more inspired to do all of this. Yes, go ahead, President.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Okay. You told me to speak a few words, no?
Yeah.
Matt, Dr. Matt, yeah. Well,
Oh,
anyway, I would like to welcome you in behalf of Philippine Christian University. Dr. Matt is one of our key pillars now in rebuilding the university. We have transformed PCU from a brick and mortar university to this year basically a digital university, of course, concurrently operating as a brick and mortar university. Of course, without you knowing, I've had also my own personal experiences in IT, developing learning management systems. When I was president of college, Methodist College in Nueva Vizcaya, as early as 2005, everything that we're doing in PCU we have already done. So I saw that you were discussing some sort of the sustainability of the entire system of remote learning. And indeed, the approach should be systematic, which means not only the technology, okay, but also the people managing it, the people using it, but more important, the contents. I heard that Dr. Matt has not yet fully integrated the course modules, di ba? That we want you to upload with our in our learning management system, because basically the course modules of PCU has a required format. We call it integrated syllabi. And all of this, including all learning materials and resources, are uploaded, or the links installed in the learning management system, so that you can actually do your own self-paced learning. And the teacher, basically, in this online system, you can be flexible in your own what you call video meetings for purpose of synthesis and case discussions. Now, our financial management and enrollment system, I think now is fully functional already. Online, the online system. Even the payments are through Paymaya and our depository bank, so it facilitates money transfers. And most important of all is that uh, an online system to be successful, it has to be customer oriented. So we have really a team, as Dr. Matt has mentioned. Any problem, we give you the names and the contact numbers of our team members, and any problem, any service that you want can be will be given to you. We are basically 24/7. 24 hours, 7 days a week. And this is one of the big differences of a digital university from a brick and mortar university. I heard also that you were discussing term papers in the masteral thesis, okay? But of course, we know that there are doctoral students here. Well, how do we differentiate an undergraduate, a masteral, and a doctoral thesis? Okay, and undergraduate thesis is basically um, an analysis which or a case study, a research that shows a student's understanding of the basic concepts and fundamentals of the profession that they undertook. It can be economics, science. Okay, so it is like a case study. Okay, it can be basic research, no, statistical research, but basically its purpose is to prove that the students understands the fundamental theories and principles of the discipline is pursuing. In the masteral level, the research is concerned with the application, that is real world and industry applications. So if you are in the master's degree, we would encourage you to have real world research uh, thesis, if you're pursuing the thesis program. But if it is the non-thesis program, the same thing that you have to finish six units, three units, but for purposes of not submitting a thesis, but for submitting a what you call that climax. Ano yung climax course, Dr. Matt? Anong tawag mo ron sa parang requirement, ano?
Yeah.
Parang research requirement. Okay. So same number of units, no? 3. Yung if you're a thesis, so you have to submit a thesis. If you're a non-thesis, you can submit a project study or analysis, in an immersion or development project. And our emphasis is that you have to submit as much as possible a project that investigates your own offices or your own professions, so that your output can help you improve as an employee or as a business owner or as a unit head, or help improve your organization. So the emphasis is application, real world application. Now, when we talk about the doctorate degree, the thesis or dissertation in the doctorate degree, okay, sa Philippines, sa tawag natin sa masteral thesis, pagka sa doctorate dissertation, pero sa Europe baliktad, ano? Masters yata sa kanila ang tawag nila dissertation, doctoral ang tawag nila thesis. Okay, the thesis or dissertation in the doctoral degree is focused towards change, towards development, ano? Towards questioning the status quo. Okay? Sa masterals, how you implement something in the status quo. But sa doctoral, it must be cutting edge. It should challenge the status quo. Parang ganyan, ano? You have to challenge the existing knowledge, the existing ideas, existing systems. Yan ang focus ng doctoral research. To introduce change and development. Okay? Sa masteral, to master effectiveness and efficiency of applying the principles in your work situation. Sa undergrad, is basically learning it. Now, I think, Dr. Matt, that also in the sequential offering of our courses, we've been talking that the research aspect should be started with the research, parang ganon. Because if you are to spend, let's say, 3 trimesters, if you're a thesis, that 6 units of thesis, 3 units of thesis should be taken as early as possible, maybe in the first or second trimesters, Ngayon, if you're non-thesis, ganun pa rin, first, second trimesters, yung parang project. Because what is important now is that when you, as you proceed in your academic studies, and you'll be making term papers, if you already know the thesis that you want to make, or the project that you want to undertake, the subsequent term papers and researches that you will do in all your succeeding courses will be focused towards that. So hindi sabog, nakafocus na sa gusto nyo. Para pagka natapos na kayo ng compre, you pass your comprehensive exams, hindi na naghahabol na gagawa ng mga thesis or gagawa ng mga development project. Kumbaga, lutong-luto na. Okay. So, Dr. Matt, I think I gave you the memo, di ba? Yung may memo ako. Na kindly provide all of them, because it's basically the same guide for masteral and doctoral program. So again, I would like to welcome you and pray that God will protect all of us in this period of challenge. Good afternoon. May God bless us all.
President, if you can have a minute or two, I think our students would like to have some, or we can entertain 2 questions. Yes,
of course.
Eileen, you had?
No, sir, I don't have a question. Just would like to thank the president for releasing
President Eileen has been in the news.
Because I am the hospital director po of Hospital ng Sampaloc.
Yeah.
Kaya ganun.
Sambales po?
Hospital ng Sampaloc, sir. It's an LG hospital in...
Yeah. Oo, tama. Malapit na dadaanan ko. Sampaloc. Oh, welcome po. It's nice to see you here in the program.
For this differentiating the levels from a case study and the requirements, our requirement being master's students. Yeah.
Okay, Doctor, you're taking up a master's degree, Master in Hospital Administration ba?
Yes, sir. Opo.
Oh yeah, okay. So anyway, I think napakadali sa iyo because napakaraming pwedeng gawing cases and situations sa hospitals, ano? So lalo ko sa masteral level meron kayo yung kasi okay. When we do research kasi ang approach natin sa PCU, inaalis ko yung pagka-academician, masyado academic. What we want is we should be development oriented. So any level of research, the first thing that we have to be clear about is what is the problem that we really want to solve sa ating institution, organization, sa community. So there must be a tangible social, financial, economic, or infrastructural solution or systemic solution. There's a problem that requires all of those. Okay. So for instance po, in your hospital, ano po? Well, of course, your number one problem now is COVID, di ba? Okay. That by itself, the situation you can make that into your into a thesis or your project. For information po, I was also involved in hospitals because I come from the Vizcaya. From 1992 to 94, I was executive assistant of the governor, and one of my assignments was all the hospitals of Nueva Vizcaya. And also we were the group that put up the Nueva Vizcaya Cooperative Hospital. And then the newest hospital that we put up in Nueva Vizcaya is a private hospital, Salubris Medical Center. Yeah, so really this field needs a lot of management studies because basahin na lang po natin yung quality, di ba, yung quality procedures natin. In all steps, ang dami ng sa operations research, napakarami na pong doon, lalabas doon. Sa customer service, di ba? That's the number one, another very important feedback that the hospital gets, to be able to validate its performance. Kailangan rin po yun sa customer service. Ano po? And then also yung sa mga sa personnel, yung ating mga behavior and values of our frontline workers and support workers, yung operations research, yung mga availability ng mga drugs and medicines nyo, etc. Marami rin pong problema dyan. How do you improve all of those? So very rich po sa research material ng hospital, Doctor.
Actually, sir, ang problem, I think lang, I don't know if I am speaking for myself or the other student. The idea kasi of doing a research paper, whether it's a thesis or non-thesis, it's somehow intimidating. So parang, what are the practical tips that you can tell us so that we can proceed? Because we will always think of time constraints, pandemic constraints, so that maybe the output that is expected of, we will fall short of the output that is expected with us. So yeah, but I am thankful for the suggested topics because we can start with the suggested topics and then proceed with
Actually, if you follow the memo I issued, it will be actually very simple kasi Dr. Matt, pakipadala mo lang. Kasi nandun na po step by step. At number one nga po sa problem. Ngayon, if you do the research, first you must have a problem to solve. If you do the research, contribution to knowledge. Yun lang po eh. And contribution to knowledge will contribute to improvement in the entire system of whatever organization you are in. Actually po, simplified po yun. Because alam niyo po, inaalis ko yung system nila sa paggawa ng research na parang yung mga education. Kasi yung mga education-oriented, napakaraming research, statistics na ano. If the research that only requires a simple statistics, then yun lang po to prove the point. Sa mga data gathering, di naman natin kailangan ng mga sophisticated na statistical formula. Kung descriptive, napakadali naman, mga profiles, lalo po sa hospital, meron nga sila tinatawag na ano ba yung tawag dito na parang na-discuss namin ito sa Middle East kasi may pinapagawa sistema na sa mga factory, actually it's applicable in the hospital. Kasi for instance po sa research about yung sa efficacy ng mga medicines, hindi ba? Sa mga patients, you base on your research based on the physical measurements, biological measurements. Pero kapag in-interview mo naman yung pasyente, pwede sabihin kahit na sa biological measurements gumagaling na siya, pwede niya sabihin na he does not feel fine, di ba? O di kaya pangit yung biological measurement, pero pagka in-interview mo siya, sabi niya, okay, I feel okay. Meron tawag, nakalimutan ko lang eh. So that's actually another type of research, pero clinical research po yan. So that can also be another type of research.
Thank you,
okay,
President.
Okay, wala na ba? Wala na.
The one that we will be presenting this afternoon is actually your memorandum. So we would like to orient ourselves so that the students may have the opportunity to go through with the requirements on the PCU in terms of complying the thesis and project course. And hopefully, I think we have made an initial talk regarding our students' concern with this pandemic and situations where there is immobility, yung constraint mobility in gathering data, in conducting their site, in terms of their project. And I think in our initial talk, I forwarded to you the concern, especially of those some of our leaders, kasi all of our students are already in their workplaces, so they're also occupying very important positions, and because of that, there might be some constraint on how they can move around in gathering data and in conducting their own structure to complete their program or project. Now we initially had conversations on because we are teaching research classes, so we gather this information from our students that they have really a very good impact research project, or that would be for thesis or project, but they work in similar areas, So one of the students mentioned about a suggestion that if they can work as a group, in other words, they can work together. Two doctors can work into a proposing a barangay or a remote eye clinic, because that is their specialization or something like that, And I think you have a favorable remark on that, na as long as that there is the impact is there, so ECU committee can evaluate if they can work collaboratively.
Yes.
Is that
also, alam mo yan, madali naman kasi the same research, you can do it in different locations. Kumare, different hospitals, or in one hospital, different departments, So that's how you, kumare, magkalapit talaga yung mga researchers na yan, And then of course, kaya nga very important talaga yung title or proposal defense, Kasi doon mo talaga i-defend muna to research mo. Pagka ganitong problem na gusto mong i-solve, ganitong gagawin mo research, so makakakuha ka ba ng data dyan, available ba, etc. So usually, if you have kumari, proposal defenses, you can also invite us or any of us, and the TINEP, the Transnational Education, can form a panel to help all your students how to formulate yung first part na research. Kasi kung tama ang formulation na yon, when they do the actual research, wala nang problema. Marami kasi naging problema diyan, hindi lang sa, lalo na sa doctorate, yung mga that's why we have to be very careful. Yung mga defense panel natin, they must be experts in their respective field kung saan yung nakafocus yung research na yon. Kapag sa higher education research, kapag walang experience sa development research, yung mga panel, they cannot really give good ideas. Kaya kumari niyan, kapag mga doctor, master in public health, we can invite panels na magagaling na outside of PCU.
Yeah.
Papa-approve lang natin na talagang magaling sila sa research so that we can guide our students. And we at PCU, we have a team also that can help them formulate. Pag na-formulate na nila, madali na. Kasi na lang yung lalo ko sa hospital, madali na data gathering doon inside the hospital. Okay, so any other?
Thank you so much, President.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, and
would there be
later.
One from the? Yes, I think there is one raising his hand. Let me check. Hold on.
May question pa? Wala na.
Hold on. May isang nagre-raise ng hand. Sino to?
Oo.
Anyone? So we can acknowledge. One more. Do we have? Or none na? Sorry.
Hello, Doc. Good afternoon po.
Yes, good afternoon. Please state your name so we can acknowledge.
Doc, may query lang. This is Janice, Doc. May query lang po kami with regards dun sa kasi considering na pandemic siya, Doc, then sa respondents namin, can we have it na may time frame kami? Tapos, kung ano yung magka-gather namin na data, for example, kung survey type siya, yung study nila, kung ano yung magka-gather niyang data, parang from doon, i-include niya yun, tapos magiging margin of error niya yung nag-gather niyang data. Parang doon sa data gathering namin, Doc, 'di ba? Kunyari in the future sa thesis, tapos may restriction sa data gathering for some other students, Doc. Ano yung kung hindi siya parang mag-aano lang siya sa 5 to 8 margin of error sa mga data gathering nila, pwede ba yun, Doc? Wala namang inaano.
In the first place,
long as
kaya nga sinasabi ko na yung parang klase nyo sa research, maaga yun. Preferably sa first trimester sana. Pagkatapos doon, ina-identify nyo na research nyo so that kung mapa-approve na natin sa first try yung anong tawag yan, yung research proposal nyo, Ngayon, pwede nyo nang implement yon, So ngayon, second try, pwedeng yung another na naman na research subject nyo. Kung hindi nyo dahil hindi pa naman nyo maisasubmit yung research nyo, pwedeng incomplete na lang yun muna. Ganon. O di kayo, take it sa third try, yung pangalawang subject sa research. Ngayon, the earlier that you can make your research proposal and you start research, the more time you have to gather data. Kaya secondly, ngayon kapag COVID ngayon, you have to use yung mga Google Docs. So there are many ways to do it. So we can help you formulate yung mga Google Docs. Pero kailangan lang yung mga yung mga respondent. But basically, kung meron kayong respondent sa hospital, na pasyente or whosoever, pagka kumari ngayon, pwede mo na siyang kunan ng ng response niya ngayon through the Google Doc na, parang ganyan. So you have many months to go na bago mo gamitin yung mga yon. Hindi ka madedelay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, President. Dr. Danilo, you would like to say something? Dr. Poblete?
Wala po. I just commented on what the president mentioned
Okay.
regarding the Middle East study, because he mentioned something about medicines,
Okay.
type of research. And as far as I know, if you would like to know the efficacy of a certain drug, the only way to do it is to randomize controlled trials.
Okay.
And this is
Yeah.
usually for
Tama.
regulatory purposes. For regulatory purposes.
Correct.
Thank you. So thank you so much, President, for your time.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you. Okay. We shall continue with our presentation. Okay, so as mentioned earlier, no, so now we are into the format. So this is the format of our proposal. No, when we say proposal, one that is to be submitted on May 15. No, so the other one that is your proposal for your project. No, so it has to have an introduction. So introduction basically looks into giving the relevance, importance, or justifying timeliness of your study. So this is also available in the memorandum of the PCU president, which is found in your attachment through our Google Classroom. So I just would like to emphasize that part of that, which is the introduction. So the word count is 100 to 150. So this will be form part of the introduction. So background, the relevance of the study, and the background. And then after which, then you have to present another subtitle, which is on the rationale. So it, of course, this identify on the how is this can be an opportunity to solve a particular problem. As mentioned, we can work it out in our workplaces, organization, or community. So this is the second part of our submission. Okay, the third is on the research objectives. So objectives of the research, you can state there your potential contribution to knowledge. You can clarify. Okay, you can have implications.
Tama na naman. Ano?
Okay. You can also identify support, so related literature that will support that your study looks into a development. So that could be one research objective, especially for those that will be doing project. So it's more or less developmental approach. Identify professional competencies. So what you will gain, type of research that could be part under research objective. For project, I think most of us will go into a descriptive analysis, which is developmental. For teachers, for MAED, for the MM education, I think in the research, you propose something like a causality or a quasi-experimental control group, experimental group. So that could be one. So evaluative, exploratory, explanatory. So explanatory would be the question answer to the why. So it's more on experimental. Okay. Specify research questions can be also driven by policy debates, theoretical debates, or focus on the nature of some field, which is specific. So I think this is on the practical research. So your question is based on practical research. So all in all, the objective word count is 100 to 200. So we have introduction, we have rationale, and then we have research objectives. And then after which we have the review of related literature. So related literature show what has already been proposed, claimed, or established, no, by previous researchers or writers. It would also be theoretical and empirical studies, policy, and industry reports or articles published. No? So those are sources of review. Evaluate the usefulness of these previous studies in relation to your research question or your study variables. So it will be vouching your own problems, no, with the literature review. Okay, pointing out agreements or what we call the research gaps. No, I think we discussed this in our research course. No, so these agreement gaps or overlaps of arguments. So that could also be part of the review. No, and then attempt to compare, contrast, evaluate theories and empirical studies. No, from other researches. So that's a review of related literature. Okay. Examining the extent to which they provide insight, answer to your research objective or question, opportunity to justify your study and contribute new knowledge. Elaborate how your research will contribute this new knowledge. So our word count here is 600 to 750. So this will be on the subtitle literature review. Okay. And then after this, for 500 to 700 words, no? So this is will be on research design. I think in the area of research design, this will now distinguish your thesis track or your project track, no? So yung iba kasi thesis, yung iba project, no? So in the research design, this will distinguish the two, no? Because research design is the overall approach of the study, no? So this is where methods, techniques is important, no? So you explain, analyze how your data will be collected, no? How data will be analyzed. So it is more likely to look into this one, no? So dito na nagkakaroon ng adherence doon sa problem mo. So your problem will be connected to the design that you will do, the setting, the timeline, measurement. So how will you measure if there are forwarded hypotheses or testing of data, and then the techniques, no, methodology, limitations, and then the analysis part, no. So all of this will bring into your research design. Now, for project would mean, no, that your design, no, your research design will be more on measurement, is on cost analysis, no. So if you talk about project, how will this run? What are the costs? What are the when we say analysis, you talk about demand, no, about the consumer, those that will benefit from the project, and then the infrastructure, and then methodology is on the planning, implementation, and then how you will manage it, no, until its evaluation or what we call the feedback, no. So everything else, no, in the matrix of designing, no, one that is for thesis and the other one that is for project, no? So when we say research design, it will now put all together, no, your problems, your methods, no, put together, no, in terms of how you can put the steps, no, towards completing, no, your investigation, no, or answering your problem. So this is the subtitle, no, on your submission, no, which is on research design. Okay, and then you are asked to present a conclusion, no? So conclusions, this is the summary of your proposal, no? So including the, of course, the impact really is what you can really contribute, no, which is reiterated by the president, no. So what is your contribution to new knowledge, no? So this is part of the abstract later, no. So this is no data yet, no, but your proposal, what will intend to bring about as an end result, okay, of your proposal. So if we look into our discussion, okay, sorry. References, of course, there is no limit to here references, no, but this is important, no, because this will really cite, no, or trace sources of our usage of literature, no? So it facilitates knowledge or document, no, so we can be out of criticisms or uh, areas wherein there is plagiarism or some sort, no. So we cite, so we, I think it is important that always, all the time, no, when we use literature in studies, we always cite, no, the source. So this is part of our submission. So all in all, we will have the subtitles here, no, for your presentation or submission, no? So an introduction, rationale, research objectives, literature review, research design, and then conclusions. So this is the requirement for the proposal, no, of your thesis or project, no, for the next semester. So ito yung ika-count, no? Itong mga words, no? Kasi galing to sa PCU, no? So ito yung ipe-present natin. So what we do for May 15, we have to accomplish all of this, no? But the professors in charge for this course, thesis project, so we talk among ourselves, no, that there is a constraint, no, in terms of how we can go about this in a short period of time. Though some of you have already started, no, prior to this course, no, you can have less than of these words, no. But what is important is that we have to submit this. So this becomes our concept paper, no, at the moment. So this will be our take off, no, for the next semester, that once we have all of this, we can expound this one, so it would be easy for us to prepare the requirement for our program, no? So ito yung ating susundan, no, sa subject na enrolled kayo ngayon. Okay? So in your submission, dapat meron tayong introduction, rationale, research objectives, literature review, research design, and then conclusion. Of course, your references. So for the two groups, so we have thesis and project classroom. This is our prepared Google Classroom. So I think all of us, or hopefully, yung mga hindi pa enrolled, so please make sure that you are enrolled. Choose one. Are you in the project study or are you in the thesis writing, no? So you have to choose one there, because teachers will go along with these two groups to keep you updates, no, on some of the things that are needed, no, for us to accomplish, no? So this will go until next semester, no, because I think I have also posted here some of the links which may help you or guide you towards creating your own statements of possible proposed titles, no, which are very important, that you have to make sure that you are clarified with your research studies or the variables that you are going to study. Okay. And I think we mentioned that one, no, as early in our research class, that our enrolled program is masters, no? So master in management. So this is not a science program, no? This is a management program. Okay, this is not also an arts program, no? So we are in the MM, no? So master in management, major in, no? So as mentioned earlier, no, by the president, it was, I think, explicit in his discussion, no, that under management program we can make use of all the subjects that we have enrolled, or we are enrolling, no. We can talk about leadership, human resources, human behavior, finance, no, economics. So everything else under this program are feasible. They are good areas for research as part of the program under management. So hindi lang siya limited doon sa ating personal specialization, so where we are coming from, no? But our program, of course, it has to be aligned, no, to our program, which is on management. Okay. Now, these are the professors that will handle the course, no? So I hope that by at the end of this session, we can communicate with them. So I would like to acknowledge Dr. Adalid. So we have Dr. Lorna here present.
Yes,
Good
yes.
afternoon,
Good
Doc.
afternoon.
So can we, sorry, I hope we can show faces so we can, yeah, sana si Doc Adalid. Ayun, no? Ayan.
Hi, nasaan na ba? Ayan. Nandiyan ang beauty ko.
This is Dr.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah. So Dr. Lorna will have to welcome students from the EDUC, Public Administration, and MBA. So we have Dr. Lorna Adali. So I think group chats are already in place. No? So, and then we have the Google Classroom. And then next we have Dr. Jet Batin. Doc Batin.
Good afternoon po.
Yan. So for hospital
Afternoon,
administration,
everyone.
so we have Dr. Batin here, Dr. Jet. So, ayan. And then we have Dr. Endex Santos. Dr. Endex, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Hello.
So, Doc Endex, Enrico Santos. No? So, siya naman ay ating professor. No? So, yung mga masters in crisis management, accounting, public health, industrial management. So, these are a mix of students, no, from other programs. No? So, you will have Doc Endex to guide you. Okay? And of course, I am here as the lead for NM Collab, no? So this is important to us, no, because this is our culminating or our terminal requirement for the program. So we have a goal that all of us will have to graduate on time. So this is the team, no, that will help for our thesis or project course or courses, because we have 6 units to that. Okay, so for our class, so we shall have our webinar series schedule, no? So synchronous classes tayo, no, for our thesis project course, no? So this is our first session. The second session will be on Sunday again. So that will be April 18, and then we will have April 25, and then we will have May 2. So all Sundays. This is via Zoom Meet. No? So next Sunday, we will hear again the President. No? So Dr. Junipen will be present. And then Dr. Jaime Ang, which is the Director for Research and Publication ng TCU. So they will talk about research agenda and then research pathways. So I think we are fortunate enough, no, na this afternoon the President joined us. So yun ang kanyang mga discussion, no, kung saan tayo patungo doon sa ating research. Okay, so that would be on Sunday, and then it will be followed by Dr. Balute. So Dr. Balute is from the Energy Regulatory Commission. So he's a certified DPO. So we'll talk about data privacy and hopefully share on another research design, which is on capstone. No? So for those looking into project proposal, so I think capstone can be another one, no, that we can learn from. And then we will have Dr. Boyet Batang. No? So he's the BPAA of Isabela State University. So it talks about publications in education. So I think those majoring in education and our format, I think if you look into our format of submission, it goes with the MRAD. So it was emphasized in the memo. So this is MRAD type. So introduction, methodology, resource discussion, and conclusion, implication. So naka-MRAD siya. And it has, it's not more anymore of the lengthy pages or more pages to submit, but what is important are, as mentioned by the president, so yung applicability ng ating research. And then we will have, I have a friend from Russia. So this is from the Open University. So we have Dr. Vera to share about business research. So that will be on Sunday. So we will have these topics. And then on April 25, we will have another friend from University of Sudan. This is an Open University of Sudan, Dr. Sala. So we'll talk about on project paper and feasibility study. So she's the Dean of Economics and Finance Sciences. And then we have, of course, Dr. Barbara Wong, Barbie Fernandez, is the VP for Research and Curriculum from Far Eastern University, Roosevelt, and also consultant of the CHED, Technical Working Group. So we'll share about qualitative protocols. And I think one, I'm cooking into Dr. One expert also in statistics. So to join for April 25. And hopefully one from the healthcare, public healthcare, would also like, I am also inviting, hopefully, Dr. Carpio, and then one is on statistic, which is Dr. Bengo. Okay, for May 2, we have Dr. Biclar, Dr. Leo will talk about action research. So research director from Capi State University. And then we have attorney Dr. Bu Castro will talk about medical research. And then Dr. Labial, Dr. Mercy Labial will talk about communicating research. So I think we have lineup of experts here in the different fields that talks about research that matters. So hopefully this will supplement our learning, and quite important that we also get insights from not only from other schools, other professors, but also from other countries, how they work it out in terms of research. So I'm happy that two of my friends said yes to the invitation. Okay. I'm still waiting for one that is in Malaysia, and yeah, I think one in Malaysia. So this is our initial. At the moment, these are the speakers that have confirmed their attendance on our webinar series. Okay, so thank you so much. So I think now we are open to some of your queries or suggestions or comments. Yes, anyone?
Sir, question.
Yes, yes, good.
Dr. Ma, my question is, you mentioned about the possibility of 2 or more students working on a research, on a project. Kasi kami non-thesis, so we're talking about project. Do we then apply or justify, how do we go about it if we are like at this point we are contemplating on like 2 of us will be working in a particular research? How do we go about it?
Okay, I think initially what we discussed on the president and me, discussed this matter. The president mentioned that as long as the submission of the proposal has an impact, that the committee can approve that it is collaborative, then no problem. So what is important is yung sinabi niya kanina, no? You can work in one area and then each student may look into a certain problem or a certain question, no? Let's say COVID, but iba-iba ang area, no? And then each member can look into the data of one question, but you share literature, you share the review of literature, yung
Yeah.
studies, di ba? It will make work easy, tama?
Mhm.
So yun ang kanyang ano, as long as you can present that there is impact, that it is a collaborative study, then why not?
Okay,
For
sir.
masters kasi for dissertation talaga individual daw. But for masters, yes. So you can, no problem.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Kahit sa ano kahit sa tama ba? I don't know if the professors will agree. Sa May 15 ba, professor, pwede ba ang collaborative or individual muna? I think pwede na, no? Tama ba, Doc Eileen?
Sir,
Yun ba yung gets ko? Sa May 15, yung ipapasa nyo,
ano na, sir?
collaborative.
Two authors na yung...
Sige.
So it's one project, but we need to justify the
Yung
necessity for two
people working together.
investigators, but like two investigators working on it. So when we submit it, it will be a research proposal containing two names, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. But of course, we will ask our advisor first if she approves of the topic.
Yeah.
But we agree now that there's two of us that who's gonna be working on it.
Correct. Thank you. So I hope that is clear. Now, this is not only true to the hospital administration, no? So this is true to all programs. So PCU is open to that, no? Because of the constraint, no? A lot of limitations, no? What is important, no? As mentioned, we can present a concept paper that has an impact that is really can be accomplished by a collaborative study, then why not? Okay. But those pursuing individual, no worry, no? So that is, of course, equally important as collaborative. Yes. Any other questions? So, Doc Eileen, sorry. Doc Eileen, I am clear. The one you mentioned about kay President, yung sana merong format. Na-clear na ba yung format kanina? Okay na? No?
Yes, sir. You explained about yung introduction, rationale.
Yeah.
So we just have to do it one at a time, identify the problem first that, di ba?
And
with the significance.
Yeah, the specific statements of the president in his memo nasa classroom, nasa Google Classroom.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and I even put there ang ganda ng presentation ni President, if I may share. Okay, hold on I think there is one question on the way. Just me hold on lang. There is one okay. Okay, there is one. Okay, anyway. In our classroom, in our Google Classroom, there is one attachment by the president on the areas of which could be a possible topics for research. So meron talaga siyang matrix, no? Ito na ba present? Sorry. Ito, okay. Yan, ito. So this is also in the Google Classroom. Okay, situational analysis, which are very good areas, no? Galing to kay President mismo, siya ang ano nito. Paano gagawin, no? May problema, and then paanong solution. So these are viable research areas, no? If I may go into medical and education, no? So lahat to meron siya. Okay. For example, this is public administration. So for governments, no, local governments. Meron din siyang flood control, baka sa crisis management, transportation, irrigation, water, housing, communication, power. Yan, ito yung health sector niya. Yan. So example, yung high birth rate, increasing incidence of acute upper respiratory infection. So meron siyang problem. And these are research data put together, analyzing situational sectoral analysis, no? And then how solutions can be driven, no, by the non-government organizations, local government, etc. No? So, pwede itong ma-scan through, no, ninyo, no? And then maybe you can look from here kung saan tayo pwesto, no? That could be one. No? So, meron siyang healthcare. Ayan. Meron din siyang yan, health pa rin to. And then education, meron siya. About education, no? Low achievement level, high dropout rate, mga ganyan. And then meron din siyang education pa. Okay, social welfare. Yan. So it's attached to our Google Classroom. No? So maybe you can go about this one, no? That will help you. Okay. Yes, I can. I think I have one missing question. Please say to be acknowledged.
Yes, Do. Edgar po.
Yes.
Yes, Edgar Abieras from
Edgar,
the first
good afternoon.
Good afternoon po. MMEM. So, po, the first time I heard and na nakita ko yung posting nung master's degree na kaya ako naging interested because it's not thesis. So, the first time na nakita ko, yun yung talagang nag-struck sa akin. And then, sabi ko nga I'm not really interested anymore to get master's degree. Kaya lang nung nakita ko yung opportunity na yun, sabi ko, wow, ang galing ka ako. Kasi nag-inquire na ako sa many schools sa Manila, but they are really asking this and that, na hindi po pwede sa schedule ko kasi nga I'm working full-time. Okay. And if it's not pandemic, I'm like 6 months away. 6 months lagi akong nasa ibang bansa. So, kaya ako kinuha yung master's degree na MMEM. Kasi nga napakaganda nung sinabi na, okay, non-thesis, this and that. Sabi ko, okay, that's good. Magsuswak naman siya sa schedule ko. Pwede naman akong mag-study abroad. Ngayon is, kaya ako kinuha yon dahil I'm a graduate of non-thesis din. So I don't have any single idea if I'm going to if I'm going to take thesis, kung ano yung gagawin ko kasi wala talaga akong ideas in zero because I know you know yung Cap College kasi doon ako galing Doc.
Mhm.
And I think Doc Henry is teaching also sa Cap College. He is one of the dean at Cap College. So um, I'm speaking not just for myself kasi I've heard and I've learned that there are like 3 or 5 na non-thesis din sila. So I'm going to speak for them also.
Okay.
So if I'm going to take the thesis, how would you encourage me to take the non-thesis while I don't have any idea of what is a thesis? And the thing is also, yes, we have research, or yeah, I think it's a research introduction, but it's an introduction. It's not how to do the thesis.
Okay.
And during my time also, introduction lang din yung naituro doon sa subject ko na thesis, doon sa non-thesis kong undergrad. So how are you going to encourage me to take a thesis while we are just 5? Anong gagawin namin to encourage ourselves na mag-thesis ba tayo? Kasi parang yun na lang yung last option namin kasi parang iilan lang naman din kami. So everybody is going to take thesis. So why don't we get thesis also? Kaya lang, ang problema is, how are we going to do it? How are we going to encourage ourselves na wala nang time at all if you're asking me to submit May 15 pa lang, kailangan tapos na yung ganito, ganyan, while we are doing some of our subjects na requirements. So yun po ang concern ko. Second concern is, hanggang ilan po yung sinasabing group? Let's say, 3 ba, 4 ba, 2 ba? And how are we going to do this? Let's say, kaming 4 na non-thesis na undergrad, kami yung nagsama-sama. Just to make it easier. Kasi at least masasabi namin we are from the undergrad, no? Tapos nag-aral kami. But yun nga, hanggang ilan yung pwedeng mag-groupings? Kasi may nagtatanong na rin po sa group namin, sa batch namin, kung hanggang ilan po ba yung pwedeng magsama-sama. So yun lang naman po ang concern ko. Yung una is, how are you going to encourage us that we had undergrad non-thesis? How are you going to encourage us to take a thesis? Pangalawa is, hanggang ilan po ba yung sa groupings? 2, 3. I think tinipe na rin yun naging concern na rin siya ni Doc Poblete.
Okay.
So, yun lang po. Yung 2 concern na yun.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So let me answer the question. Okay, first and foremost is that I think we mentioned in my class for research class, that for thesis students, the difference is that you have to defend. So that's the thing. You have to defend your product or your output, because thesis is more empirical. So there is testing of hypothesis or measuring something. For project, you have to present. So you have to present the project, because it's the completion of the cycle, ibig sabihin nakaplano, naka-design, tapos naka-implement, naka-manage, naka-feedback, so you have to get all of those and then present what happened in the thesis. After your gathered data, and then you test it, and then you defend it, whether there is difference or correlation or relationship or causality or what. So that's the main thing about thesis and non-thesis. Now, in terms of whether it is collaborative or it can be individual, as mentioned by the initial conversation with the president, as long as the concept paper has an impact, which each member contributes to the totality of the investigation, it is possible. Okay. So as mentioned by the president, students can work in one area or one topic, and then but different lens or question that the group member can tackle and contribute, that there will be a new norm or perhaps a new knowledge to be driven from that investigation. then there's no problem. Okay, for example, in your case, edu management, group of 4. So you can talk about the, let's say, the dynamics of new normal in remote learning teaching experience, for example. And then one will talk about the management of learning, then management of teaching, management. So areas that can bring about uh, a new concept, new construct, no, in the variable that is remote or new normal in a situation that is pandemic, and then each will contribute, no, looking at the different angles or problems that will be uh, constructed out of those variable, tama. So if you can present that in one, no, so may impact siya, no, dun sa phenomenon. So I think the committee can accept that, no, as an output. Now, how do we go about it? Okay, I think the simplest way, kanina sinabi ni President, no, which I also reiterated dun sa aking presentation. So let's start from there. Construct an introduction. So in your introduction, it is simple. It is a statement of why the paper is relevant, why the paper is important, why the paper is timely. Okay, and then background. So you go back to your setting. So where is the study coming from? Now, why from that setting? Ano bang problema? Okay, so maybe I think the problem really for education is that no one is prepared, no? If that is public education that we're talking about. So walang LMS, no, learning management system. So wala talaga infrastructure to come up or respond, no, to this new normal. So that becomes very relevant, no? So you have a very good background. So from there, you have created the introduction. Of course, the rationale will always be very, very potent, no? Because this is about a new norm, no? Especially in the public school system, no? So na-create na, no? So from there, you can have a lot of literature, okay, that talks about now, no, about learning, that is learning, teaching remotely, technology in learning, no? So you can have the international industrial revolution 4.0, education agenda 5.0, and so forth and so on. So those things that have been learned in your other courses, so you can put that together. So that will come up with a very good literature. And then from there, we can design. I think the safe way, because of our constraint of time, is descriptive. Allowed naman ni President, sabi naman ni President, you can have a descriptive analysis. That is already an output. No? It doesn't need a very complex statistics, no, to prove something, right? It doesn't need a very high analysis, empirical, no, to prove something. No? Pwedeng, well, pwede kayong mag-mix method. Pwede namang gumamit ng Google form, yung sinabi niya. No? These are now new methods, no, to contact our respondents. Limited mobility. So that could be one. No? So meron na tayong research design. Okay? These are the things that are put into as problems. This is, then we will work together. Each one will have to carry a problem, and then how we can make sure that these problems will have answers. So we prepare the instrument. Okay. So is that a questionnaire? Is that a phone conversation, focus group discussion? Do we need to call some of the respondents so we can interview them? Or we can have an inventory, a questionnaire? Okay. And with regards to questionnaire, questionnaires can be standardized. No? Questionnaires that have been used by others. There are a lot. No, we can you can make use of those questionnaires. There are a lot of questionnaires about learning styles. About these are already used by researchers previously. That's the thing, no? That's the magic of research. We can always verify, no? Kasi ginamit nila, na-publish sila, no? So kasi pag na-publish yan, ibig sabihin it has undergone series of peer review, no? So kaya yung ating mga instrument, ang ating related literature will always be on the journals. Okay? So once we have the instrument, then we can field, no? So we can now gather data, and then we can now make an analysis, no? So for our results and discussion. So everyone is working on a particular topic under an umbrella of a phenomenon, and then one answer to that problem, then that will be already an output. No? Now, I am not discouraging you to have project, no? Kasi yung iba, sir, talaga ba thesis or project? There are some programs in the PhDs now are accepting non-thesis, no? But of course, you have to undergo some other like bridging courses, okay? Kasi they require really thesis, no? But you can have bridging courses, no? But what is ang leverage lang kasi pag nakalagay kasi ang thesis talaga sa ating TOR, no? Kasi title talaga ng thesis ang ilalagay doon. Okay? So that's the difference, no? That's the difference. So I can, as much as I would like to encourage you, no? But it's a choice, no? But at the same time, there is an assurance that we work it out. No, we can help you. No? So we have teachers, Dr. Adalid, Dr. Santos, Dr. Batin. No? So we can help you with your proposals, and hopefully what is important there para talaga ma-approve na kahit marami or tatlo kayo sa group, but bawat isa talagang may problem na isosolve, no? So that would already mean an impact. Tama? Para bang hindi na sumasakay lang yung iba para mag-group. Yung ganun. I think that's the message of the president. Tama? Okay. So I hope that answers your question, Ed.
Yes, Doc. Thank you.
Same time, encourage you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Salamat. Anyone?
Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes,
Paulo Katindig po, sir.
Pao.
From Paulo Katindig, sir.
Okay. Hi,
sir,
Pao.
just like,
Yes,
sir. So just like to ask lang po, kasi di ba po, during our first semester, we already submitted at least partial fulfillment research study. Is it possible that we use the same study and just enhance it in coordination? We can use it, sir, no? Okay. Kasi I already finished already with the introduction and with the hypothesis and all. And actually, we already gathered some data already and gave analysis already. So I think, sir, if it is possible that we just enhance the paper that we already submitted.
Correct.
So, kasi medyo yung time constraint also is one of our concerns as well, sir.
I think that was the one mentioned, no, earlier. And even in our research classes, no, so sinabi natin dati na as early as now we start, no.
Okay,
what was submitted in the previous semester, yung kaya lang nating i-submit, no. Halimbawa, yung iba umabot lang sa pilot study, no, kasi wala pang panahon, no. Ito lang ang na-gather na literature, no.
Okay,
so now pwede nang dagdagan. Tama ba, Pao? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So no problem with that. Are you working individually?
Yes, sir. We work individually.
Okay.
Kasi.
So even at this point.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. And then okay. And then I forgot. Okay, sige. Ano to? So working individually, you have your this is it. I think for some of my students, under research, Ang na-observe ko lang doon, kasi yung sinubmit natin doon sa ating classroom,
Research yung
yung nag-research tayo, ang sinubmit natin doon is yung talagang interest natin sa sarili. Kasi yun ang ating trabaho, yun ang ating diploma, no? For example, no? So talagang specialized doon sa atin. Now, which I mentioned earlier, na we can go beyond kasi masters in management tayo no? So maybe sa workplace natin, meron pa tayong nakitang problema sa human resource. So that could be one, no? Sa logistics, sa supply chain, procurement. So these are areas of management which could also be part of our research. So it's not limited to our own specialization, no, as personal professional, no, but it could be part of a department, no, in our workplaces, no. So pwede nating i-venture yun as a research area of investigation. So yung human resource, logistics, supply chain, what else? Market analysis, no? Okay, so marami pang areas, no, na encompassing dun sa ating program, which is management. Can everyone receive a copy of the memo? Yes, the presentation, the memo, the matrix of research, they're all available in the classroom. So na-i-post ko na yan sa classroom. That was the first attachment I made in the Google Classroom. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Doc Santos, Maria Rosa. So I hope that answers your question. No? So meron na po tayong kopya. Yung present ko kanina, that was only the summary. No? Meron talaga doon yung detailed hanggang final defense mo. No? Nandun lahat. Okay? Yeah.
Then sir, sorry, another question po. Sorry. Sir, with regards to our consultation with our professor, for example, ours is Professor Batlin. So we just send an email with regard to the updates of our project paper that we're working on for her to.
We advise that we can make use of the Google Classroom. So every time you post there, parang mayroon kayong certain post doon, 'di ba? Nasa Google Classroom tayo ng project or nasa Google Classroom tayo ng thesis. So parang ginawa natin dati sa research. So we can post anything there. We can make, if you don't want to others to read your posting, you can share a drive, no? 'Di ba? You can identify people that can be shared, no? So para makita namin lahat, no? Para mag-work together tayo how to address your problems. Tama ba, Pao? Okay ba?
Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. Okay, thank you po.
So yun ang mga easiest way. We can also send some of your submission sa mga colleagues, no? That could be your future advisor. Tama? No invite from you from the Google Classroom. Okay, I hope that lahat tayo nasa Google Classroom, no? So ang access code nandoon na sa ating group chat, no? So how to access the non-thesis and how to access the thesis classroom. If you go for a thesis, is this accepted when we pursue doctorate? Di ba po, pag nag-doctorate, dapat may thesis in master's degree. Yeah, it is a thesis. Then, there is a thesis. Tama ba, MJ? You pursue a group thesis and then you will enroll in the doctoral degree. So you have a thesis. I don't know naman. Siguro naman sa TOR mo, hindi isama yung mga classmates mo na names. Nakalagay lang doon sa TOR yung thesis title mo, no? Hindi na isama doon kung sino yung ka-groupmate. So it's still a
Good afternoon po.
Yes. I hope I can acknowledge Ariel ba? Hmm?
AG.
Saan ang mukha
AG.
mo? Pakita
Hindi
ko.
lang po ako mag-video.
Okay. Yes. AG.
Doc, yung format po ng project ka ng CPC, parang same lang sa no? And then, what if, for example, ngayon naka-enroll ako ng non-thesis. Tapos by next semester, I decided na I'll go to thesis. Would it be possible?
Okay. Again, yeah. I think that's a valid one, no? Kasi talagang minsan ano pa tayo, no?
We are very
So, meron tayong isasubmit sa May 15, no? As a requirement of this class. So, what is the requirement of this course? You have of course, your title, your introduction, rationale, literature, design, ano pa yon? Conclusion, and then references. So, ito yung ating skeletal. Ito yung concept paper na sinasabi. So, ito yung isasubmit natin sa May 15. Okay? Now, the difference there is that yung skeletal mo dun sa research design, if you will pursue thesis, mag-iiba ang research design kasi nandun yung preparation ng questionnaire, preparation ng mga respondents, yung setting. Now, if you go for a non-thesis which is project, so you will put there your plan of implementation, your pacing, no? Meron akong may na-post dun sa non-thesis na group yung nuances, yung mga design ng paano mag-create ng project, no? So you have to design your project, no? You have to manage your project, implement your project, and then of course feedback, no? Yung mechanism. So nandun yung mga titignan mo yung cost analysis, no? Yung infrastructure, yung market, no? So sinong makinabang, para kanino, saan to ilalagay, no? So ano ang kanyang mga costing kasi project eh. So remember, hindi mo siya i-defend, i-present mo yung project. So whether it is really feasible at all areas, di ba? While the thesis, you have to defend a certain theory whether it is significant or what, no? So doon nagkaiba ang dalawa, no? Doon sa design. So yun ang ipapasa nyo sa May 15, yung skeletal. Okay? Now, if ever you will change your mind, so that would be next semester, choice mo na yun. Okay? Ang problema lang, kung ma-approve yan, tapos may uupo na advisor, tutulungan ka na, tapos you change your mind, di ba it would be more taxing on our part to go back again to step 1? When we can already move on to the next level. That's my worry. But if you have the luxury of time to change from one to another, then why not? Pero dapat sabay tayong gagraduate, AJ. So I think the best way is to think now, no? Okay? Actually, yung thesis at saka non-thesis parehas lang sila ng landas eh. Magkaiba lang yung design, no, ng dalawa. Pero parehas lang sila ng papatunguhan. May output. Only the rigor of thesis is that yung data collection, no? So you have to collect the data because it is in the data that there is life. Without your data, there is no life. No? Yun ang buhay ng thesis, yung data. While the project, ang buhay ng project is that you have to think that your project really is feasible and doable. Okay? That is what you are going to present. Yes, Ariel.
Hi, Doc. Good afternoon.
Yeah,
I
good
just want to clarify something. If I may recall, last time that you have sent an email to us, which is requesting us to fill those forms, which one of the question was with regards to the title of our thesis that we are proposing. Is it already good to go for the said title of proposal, or is there any changes that because we still did not receive if the proposal that we have submitted or we have filled up on those requested form, if it is acceptable or not?
Okay. You are in a group, right? So you're now under Dr. Santos, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Doc.
Yeah, I will forward that. So that will be, as mentioned by Paolo kanina, yung mga research natin dati, no? So we can have that here now. So now that you have known your professors in charge, so you can have that, you can hand that to them, and then from there, it's our time now to add more of that, no? For completion.
Yes, Doc. Yes, Doc. So it is our advisor already who's going to decide if that is acceptable or not. Yeah. Okay. That's all, Doc. Thank you.
Thanks, Ariel. Yes, Chris J.
Good afternoon, Doc. No, I just want to ask po kung if it's possible po na yung maka-partner or like maka-grupo po for the thesis ay from the earlier trimester po.
So who's going to graduate first?
Like for example, yung sa first trimester sasabay lang po kami ng thesis po.
So,
pero ako like late pa rin po ako mag-graduate actually.
Kaya mo siyang hintayin?
Sorry, Doc?
Kaya mo siyang hintayin?
Like sorry, I think I'm missing out on the question. Nagpa-pan out ako, Doc, sorry.
Okay. Hindi, ang ano naman.
Ako kasi yung second, Doc, eh. Ako yung like nahuhuli. So,
ikaw yung
ngayon? Ako yung nahuhuli. Yes po, Doc, exactly. Medyo nag-pan out talaga ako sa question.
Ganon.
Opo, like, yes po. Like, if sasabay po ako sa thesis, like, magka-partner kami. Pero the same pa rin po, gagraduate ako ng late po. Like, around February, if ever. Sorry. if my sense po yung tanong.
No, what is encouraged is you work as a batch, no? Yun ang sinabi ko sa mga nauna or sa mga ngayon lang or sa papasok pa ngayong June. So meron nang na-miss out na isang SEM, which is not negative at all, no? What is important is we started grad school. Now, if the question is that your partner will be behind one semester, so yun na yung question doon, kaya bang maghintay yung isa sa isa, no? And yung enrollment kasi mabubulabog. So
yes po, exactly din po. Kaya po I wanted to clarify kasi baka po wala maka-apekto sa side.
Malabo.
Opo. No. Opo. So if ever po, Doc,
pwede naman eh.
If ever po, Doc, like ibig sabihin, pagka ganun, yung nauna po, kailangan magpalit din siya graduate.
Wow.
Para po.
May ganun ha.
Doc, just to clarify lang talaga, sorry talaga. If walang
kung
sense,
ako,
like, medyo magulo tanong ko.
Una lang ako sa PICC.
So better Doc talaga, no? Like,
you can borrow you can borrow my academic gown the next semester. Hindi. Lahat tayo kasi may batch talaga na kailan gagraduate. So,
yes po, correct.
What is given now is that yung iba talaga ahead na sila ng one SEM. So, good na yun. Hindi na natin yan mabubura. So, whatever happens, kung may maghintayan, why not? No? But we cannot drag them into what particular semester because they have our own pacing, no? So, usap na lang kayo kung sinong gustong maghintay.
Okay po. Thank you po. Thank you. Pasensya na po sa tanong ko. Yes. Thank you po. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? So sana po may natutunan din ang mga PhD. So yung mga kaka-enroll lang, no? So ito yung trabaho natin next semester. Kasi yung mga PhD sa next semester magsusulat na sa kanilang dissertation. And then yung mga enrolled ngayon, the next semester yung subject nyo is thesis, non-thesis din. So I think this is a leverage, no, on your part na at least ngayon, no, meron na kayong point of preference, no, dun sa ano ang pwedeng mangyari. No? So we thank those people who are before us, yung mga nauna sa first semester, first try. I would like to commend because you were one of us testing this new platform. Really, no? Really, I would like to admit, no? Lahat po tayo bago dito sa platform na ito, no? And nagpasalamat, no? Nagpasalamat ako as lead of MM Collab Group na kayo ay sumama dito sa bagong platform. Tapos pinili natin ang PCU, pinili natin ang grupo ng MM Collab. And I think expressing our commitment, no, with me and the faculty that we have, no, these are my friends, my colleagues, no, and we have expressed our commitment, no, that we can help students until they finish the program. So it is really challenge. I think sabi ng mga seniors natin, ang swerte naman itong mga bago, no? Meron na silang ganito. Kami dati, ano. So kasi lahat tayo nag-umpisa nung first sem. Okay. So na-experience natin yung mga adjustments. So little by little, we have learned lessons, then we have improved something, and then hopefully we can master or what, no? Because I think the first slide that we presented, will this go for a longer time? I think so, no? And I think with the pronouncement of the president, PCU president, because the structure is already there. So the Transnational Education Extension Program is there, no? So naka-structure na kasi sa kanilang organization. So I think this is in a longer period of engagement, no? Whether we go back to classroom. So meron na sila talagang naka-design na ganitong structure ng Transnational Education Extension Program. Okay. So I would like to turn this over to professors if there are other announcements. Dr. Santos, Dr. Bating, Dr. Adalid. Hello? Okay na ba tayo?
Good afternoon, Doc.
Yeah, Doc Ende.
Doc, good afternoon.
Okay. Yeah, who's saying good afternoon?
Doc, good afternoon.
Yes.
Si Janice lang po. Si Janice lang, Doc.
Okay, yes.
Query ko lang, Doc. 'Di ba? Ano kami, kunyari, masters in public administration. Then may baka mag-change lang naman nung thesis. Baka yung maging thesis namin in the future is kunyari concerning public administration. Okay lang ba kami na mag-formulate ng sarili namin question na wala siyang standardized question about dun sa topic namin? Anong masasuggest mo with regards dun, do? Kasi ang pinaplano ko din is yung kunyari sa land.
You're talking about
land problems.
You're talking about data gathering. So you're
Hello, Doc.
talking about instrumentation.
Yes po, Doc.
Okay. So if that is the case, that the
Doc, sa
instrument
instrument.
is researchers construct formatted instrument, you have to go with reliability and validity. So testing reliability and testing validity of your questionnaire. Yeah.
Validity. Okay, Doc. Kasi
reliability, you can
ang plano sana dito, Doc, is yung
Pearson R20. So if that is a scale questionnaire, yung check. So you can test the reliability. So testing reliability, it has to be 0.8 for a questionnaire STEM, no? Yung bawat tanong i-test mo, no? Ipapilot mo. And the R20, no, which is Cronbach alpha. So 0.8, it means that there is consistency, no? So naiintindihan ng respondents yung tanong doon sa particular topic. And then you can test for validity. So you can submit that and we will give that to experts in the field. And then they'll see if that your questionnaire fits on the problem that you would like to investigate. So we can have content validity or face value validity.
Okay, Doc.
Yes.
So, hindi na siya necessary, Doc, na mag-ano kami muna. Like, for example, pre-survey sa kanila. Sa, kunyari, kung ang target mo, Doc, ay land administrator. Kasi previously, nung nag-work ako sa ganun na area, parang may mga observable na commonalities with regards sa implementation ng mga, yun nga, Doc, yung mga mga land, pagpapaalis sa mga urban tour and everything. Parang may observation naman. Tapos ang gusto lang is hindi na necessary, Doc, na tanungin muna namin yung administrators. Parang pare-survey nga. Kunyari, common questions lang ng, kunyari, Doc, walang scaling. Yung parang gusto mo lang malaman siya na common problems ng mga administrator or yung sa process ng pag-i-evict ng mga or pagde-demolish ng mga houses, parang hindi siya scaling, Doc.
Yeah.
What if hindi scaling, Doc? Yung parang question, lang talaga siya.
Validity.
Parang descript.
We can have validity.
Sa validity. Validity, Doc. Okay po. Thanks, Doc.
Okay, welcome.
Doc, may instrument pang ginagamit sa validity, yung cobalt or something instrument?
Yeah, it's in the classroom, Google Classroom. Sige, I'll give you a link on that.
Thank you, Doc.
Okay, welcome. Yes, Doc Index, are we okay?
We're okay now. Okay na tayo.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Fatin?
Okay na, Doc.
Doc Lorna?
Okay na ako, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I think with that, if there are no more questions, we would like to thank each and everyone for joining. It's 3:34 minutes, no? So you're still can catch up with the other classes. I think there is a class at 4. So we would like to thank those who have joined. This is put on record, so we can share the recording to those out of the session this afternoon, or anyone can retrieve, no? So we can go on to this file, no, for our personal our perusal, no. So thank you so much for joining. So good afternoon to each and everyone. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Doc Mar.
Thank you, everyone.
Salamat.
Salamat.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you po, Doc Matt.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc.